Slap it on.
You didn't expect that. Hello, welcome. Yes, it's Blur's Day. I learnt that from CNN. Blur's Day. I've got off. I've forgotten. Hang on. I forgot my bling. I forgot my live stream bling. Oh, the sausage. Now you see how the sausage is made. Everything's ruined. Stream cancelled. God damn it. Yes. Hello. Welcome. It is Thursday, and as we're all knocked down now because of the chocolate velociraptor, I thought, screw it, let's just do a live stream. So I'm going to adjust the microphone, loud noises. I thought we'll do some live streams. I know a lot of you are going to be stuck at home now, so as much as I can over the coming 4 weeks. Here in the UK, we've got the lockdown for the next 4 weeks, potentially only for the next 4 weeks. So as much as I can over the next 4 weeks, I'll just try and get some live stream stuff done, and it'll just be building stuff, nothing too complicated. Kind of it, really. Not really much to explain, I suppose, but welcome one and all if you're stuck at home. As always, very quick shout-outs to all the people that make my content possible. Big, massive shout-outs to my Patreon supporters at patreon.com/modelmakingguru, and the YouTube channel members who became members by pressing the join button at the bottom of any one of my videos. Both those groups support this channel financially, and they are the world to me. They pay the bills, they make this channel possible, they make it possible for me to do all of this for my living. So, massive thank you to them. And, of course, to Goblin Gaming and to emodels.co.uk, my corporate supporters. Links to both of those in the description below. Your one-stop shop for all your model making and tabletop gaming needs. Yes. So do check out those links. But welcome. If you're watching this, the whole point of these streams is going to be really just to give you a place to hang out. We're all going to be sat at home bored. I was sat here, and I wasn't really in the mood to do any filming because I've got some other stuff going on. And I'm like, you know what? I'm kind of bored. I'm not actually filming. I don't really want to play on the Xbox. I'm bored. And then I realised that's what everybody else is going to be going through right now. And as Chris at Gross Models will tell you, within 5 minutes of being a day off, he'd already forgotten what day it was. It doesn't take long to get back into the kind of blurry, I don't even know where I am kind of mode. So I thought, I'll do some live streams, give you something. So yeah, if you're watching this and you can't see the live chat, you can see the archive of the chat there. Click on the YouTube icon in the bottom right hand corner. If you watch this on YouTube, you can join in the live chat as well, and that's what this is about. It's a place for you guys to hang out and have fun. So yeah, I should give Guthorm his own pair really of them, shouldn't I? So he can read the chat properly. I have got a spare pair, but I can't get him to stay in one place. Well, I need to somehow attach them better to his schnoz, because they're quite funny. But if I put him there, you can't see him. Never mind. I'll need them anyway. There you go, Guthorm. You don't need glasses. I need glasses. I'm old. So welcome one. Let's have a quick look at chat and see who's in. Just before we get going. Chris at Gross Models is in. He says, oh, deja vu again. Yes, always. I'm going to increase my brightness. I feel like the guy on CNN pointing at the map of the US. So here you are. Here's Denver and here's Philadelphia. And now we're going to go forward to last year and then backwards to the year before. I've been watching CNN for updates on the election. No politics in the chat, please, and no religion, but I'll just mention I've been watching it. Anyway, yes. So, Chris at Gross Models is in. Mayhem Model Works is in. New name, new shiny name. He's wearing it in. Kildar0000 is in. Feel it 2-man. Dad at Scaly Models is in. Hello, Dad. Big hugs. Big hugs. Dad at Scaly Models is in. Nice to see him getting some time to himself. Come and watch things, so welcome. We have, who else is in? Everybody's talking amongst themselves. Hugo Model Works is in. Hello everyone, he says. Welcome Hugo. You're in Portugal, aren't you, if I remember rightly? Is it Portugal? Have I got that wrong? I do apologise if I get someone's name or place of existence wrong. I'll either get people's names wrong or where they come from wrong, and I will all the time because I have the worst memory in the world. So welcome Hugo from possibly Portugal or potentially somewhere else, I think. I know some people are from Australia, some are from America. I know Ray is from Malta. It's kind of much as I remember, really. I assume you're all in the UK unless you tell me otherwise. Let's have a look. Where else is it in? David Sanderson is in. Welcome, David Sanderson. My brain just phased out there for a moment. I just kind of stopped completely. Graham M. Ooh, what a surprise. I love an unexpected live stream. Afternoon all. Welcome, Graham. I'm glad I could surprise you unexpectedly. There's a lot of jokes in there. Peter Davies in, just watching your vid on the Trauma Centre. Loving them. Thank you very much, Peter. I have started on the next episode because I've started painting the dozer blade. Yes. I will get back to filming it. This week's been a bit weird because there's been some stuff going on. Ooh, I'm dropping everything now. There's been some stuff going on, so I've not really had a chance to film. Real life keeps getting in the way. So I was hoping to get some time today, but I just wasn't feeling the... You know, you don't feel it. You don't really want to go and do anything too skilled sometimes. Because if you're not feeling it, there's no point forcing the creative thing. I was kind of like, I'm not really in the mental space to do some fiddly painting and filming today, but I don't mind gluing something together. So I'll do that. You have to go with what you... Don't force yourself to do something. Just go with what you're feeling. And then just let that dictate your creativity. Danny V says, good day. Welcome, Danny V. We have Peter Davy, Cornishman, living in Germany. Das ist richtig. Willkommen auf dem Livestream gefahrten mit the sticking und the cutting and the stability. Ja, das ist richtig. For some reason, I put a new blade in my knife, and I've been building the other vehicle. I've forgotten the name of it, and I must have been like cutting things because my thumb is just cut to shreds. I woke up this morning and my thumb was like wow, throbbing. I'm like, wow, really? Damn, the doctor's going to see me on time. Catch you all in a while, says Graham. See you in a bit, dude. Well, buggeration, Graham, says Mayhem. Edward Leonard is in. Welcome, Edward. Paul Di Tommaso is in. Hey, Paul, big hugs. Hope you're doing okay. No notification again, says Edward. Yeah, I wouldn't trust YouTube to give you notifications. It either doesn't or it doesn't. So, yeah, I'd never get notifications from YouTube. I mean, it's probably because I turned them off, but I wouldn't. One of my lights is turned off. There you go. What's that all about? Why was that light off? It's weird. There you go. Sorry about that. Yeah, I wouldn't trust YouTube notifications. What I would do, here's what I do. Here's your way around it. Every day, when you get a chance, the first chance you get, go to YouTube and click on subscriptions tab down the left hand side. It'll show you, as long as you've clicked the notification bell and clicked on all, it'll show you all the stuff that's scheduled for that day, because anybody that's got a live stream scheduled later for that day that you subscribe to and you've ticked the bell, you'll see their live stream in your what's happening today section. So I go in the morning and I'm like, right, I've got that at 4 o'clock and that at 2 o'clock. Brilliant. So I just make a little note in my mind, then I know what I've got to watch then. I wouldn't trust YouTube's notification. Helgen35, quick skive, quick wave, back to me desk in a minute. Happy Thursday, guys. Blimey, it's Tony at Helgen35. Enormous hugs. Guthorm says hello. Guthorm's going to wear his comedy glasses just for you. There you go. Just for you, Tony McPony. There you go. Guthorm can now be a 1980s local news chap. Hello and welcome to Look Northwest. Yeah. Hey, Tony. Hope you're doing well, mate. Go back to work, you skivey little git. Good God, that was an awful accent, says Peter Davy. Wait, what? Did I do an accent? Did I do an accent? I didn't do one, did I? Oh, you mean my German? Oh, I don't do German. I do a special German accent. My dad used to talk pidgin German all the time, which was made up words that sound German and don't mean anything. So I kind of inherited that. Juan Smokey de la Garza says, greetings from South Texas in America. Greetings, Juan Smokey de la Garza. Welcome, welcome, welcome. Only very briefly, I'm afraid, says Tony at Helgen. Well, even a few seconds, Tony, is a nice thing to see you. There we go. So yeah, this is going to be... I'll try and do as many as I can over the next 3 or 4 weeks, because we're on lockdown for 4 weeks, at least. So I might be only get a chance to do 1 or 2, because I've got to be conscious of other people doing streams as well. I've got to fit them in where I can. So I thought I'll squeeze one in today before I go and have my dinner later on. I'll give you a quick gratuitous TED. Slap it on. There you go. So what we're going to be doing, well, I know what I did forget to do. I forgot to get this out. Hang on. Show you what we've done so far in the thing that I was building. Oh, it's going to fall apart. You remember on Warhammer Sundays, I've been building this thing. I've forgotten. I can't remember what the damn things are called now. The Custom Booster Blaster, that's it. I can't remember the damn names. Custom Booster Blaster. So I finished that. I was watching CNN yesterday for the election coverage, and I just needed something to do while I had that playing in the background, so cleaning my glasses. So I just built that. I wasn't in a painting mood yesterday or anything serious, filmy mood, so I just thought I'll finish building that. So I finished that. So we're going to crack on with the next one now. I've got 4 out of 5 of the Orc vehicles. I'm just cleaning my glasses if you're wondering what the noise is. I'm trying to schmutz off them. Yeah, I've got 4 of the 5. I've done the Ruckatrick Squig Buggy. I have done the custom booster blaster. I have done the boom. No, I haven't. I've done that. Oh God, the other one. That's not the shock jump dragster. I've not got the shock jump dragster, but I've got all the other 4, and that's the 3rd one. So what we're going to do today, I'm going to put that over there. Sit back in the cabinet so I don't forget. 1 second, peeps. Is it? Down, there you go. There you go. Falling apart. Lovely, lovely. I'm going to take my hoodie off because it's suddenly really, really warm. God. No. Starts off cold in here, and the moment I turn all the lights on, what a surprise, it goes warm. So today, the booster blaster, that's the one. Yes, what have I got? I've got the Rooker Truck Squig Buggy, I've done that. I've got the custom booster blaster, which is that one. I've got the other one that I can't remember. And I've got the Boomdakka Snazzwagon, which I'm going to build now. That gives me all 4 then. I just haven't got the shock jump dragster. I've got to be honest, I don't feel the love for the shock jump dragster. It doesn't really interest me that much. Sorry to hear that, Edward. Big hugs in your direction, my friend. And hugs to your mum as well. Take care. Take it easy, dude. No motivation. He says, yeah, I don't. Not surprised. Just take it easy, buddy. Treat this as a nice distraction to keep your brain occupied for an hour and distracted. So yeah, we're going to work on the Boomdakka Snazzwagon. I do love these. It has a mech special Snazzy Dakka. It has a burner bottle that's been thrown by the guy at the back. It has a stupid git what needs a lesson strapped to the front. Little Gretchen. Or Grot, I can never remember. I think it's a Grot strapped to the front because he's obviously done something bad. We have a Pyro Nutter, who is the guy that's throwing the burner bottle. We have rear axle bits, technical stuff, and we have a Grot Blaster, which is Grot hanging out the side with a little gun, and Boss Pipes, which is just the bull bars at the front. I do like the design. It's kind of cool. And there'll be a small chance to paint some flames, cabron, flames. Pendejo. I've never tried painting flames before. Thanks, Fox, says Edward. Kildar says, Emperor's Blessings. Hurtling Pyromaniac Battle Buggy, yes. So I really have liked these vehicles that I've made, and they've kind of turned me on to the Orc style of things. And I might over the coming years actually invest in some Orc stuff just to get myself an Orc playable Orc faction. I've got my Imperial stuff that I've not even started painting properly. I've got my Death Core that I've not even started painting properly. I've got lots of things that I've not actually properly started. I'm rubbish, really. Have a quick look at the sprue. It's one single sprue, as always. I love the fact that on the floor, it's not very, shouldn't really encourage it, but on the floor of the vehicle, there's like just a big pile of gun shells, bottles, and cans. Empty cans, empty bottles. We're going to assume they're non-alcoholic, of course, because even if you're a passenger, you shouldn't really drink in a car. So we don't encourage, Model Making Guru doesn't encourage drinking within a vehicle. So we'll assume they're fizzy pop bottles, and also bottles for, like, Molotov cocktails. So lots of empty cans and bottles in there. Yeah, loads of lovely detail. We shall wait and see the mould and seam lines on the tyres, because on the Custom Booster Blaster, they were a nightmare. On this one, it might be a little easier going, so we shall see. We shall see how they go. So we'll crack on with that. Jamie Bone is in. Hi everyone, says Jamie. Welcome, Jamie. How are you doing, my friend? Right. So we'll put on my space helmet of seeing, which is now my flippy flappy glasses. I do like them. So much easier. Apart from I can't get them now. So much easier than having a big helmet sticking out onto the camera. Right, swig of coffee. Yum. And we shall crack on. Love to sneak a Commissar Kane onto one of them. Oh yeah, that'd be good. Now, of course, as I assemble this, I'll be keeping one eye open on how to build it with sub-assemblies. With the Custom Booster Blaster, what I've done is I've built the entire chassis. I've glued the sidewalls to the chassis because I determined that I can still get into all of it to paint everything. To get into the cockpit, to paint the dashboard and everything else. I'll be able to do that. I can paint it quite easily. So I've glued the back walls on, I've glued the two grots into the vehicle. I've not glued the driver in, he's not in. And I've and I've not glued the front on because I need to get to the cam belt. So I've got a sub-assembly going there on 4 or 5 different bits. So I'll do the same on this. As I'm going through, I'll look at, you know, can I glue this on, or is it going to stop me painting something? And we'll take it from there. Jamie Bone says he's back to 80% full health. Get yourself a stim pack. You need a stim pack. It does at least 20% health restoration. Right, so we're going to start, as always, with Thenjin. Lol, big helmet, says David Sanderson. I don't know why he said. Big helmet across the universe. Right, so we need 4 and 3, which are, strangely enough, 2 halves of the engine. Kill surprise. Oh, I know what I need. Hang on. Where's me thing? So 4 and 3. So anyway, yes. I'll try and do as many of these streams as I can. Like I say, it may just be I end up doing just this one and I don't get a chance. They are kind of an ad hoc thing. Why I call them last minute live streams. They're just as and when, basically. And like I say, I do have to take account of other people that are doing stuff at the same time. So, because what you find is, now that everybody or most of us are stuck at home, any of us that can do streams will do streams. So it's not quite as easy as just plonking the camera on. 5 and 5, that's 2 the same. We'll get those pieces off now. When I was building the Boomdakka, the custom booster blaster, God, I can't remember the names. When I was building the custom booster blaster, I noticed with some horror something I'd never noticed before, because I know the orcs like speed and they like the tech stuff and they like driving and all that kind of stuff. One thing I didn't know is that the driver is kind of built into the vehicle in the custom booster blaster. His arm, his hand, there's no hand here, and he's kind of just connected up to the gear shift, like with a load of bits of metal. And the guy on the gun at the back is kind of built into the gun, and it's like, ooh, that's. You always think of the orcs as slightly comedic, really, but that's a bit grimdark. It's like, you know, you're permanently built into this vehicle. That's got to suck. Part number 1 is on need. We'll just have to wait and see if any of the dudes in this are physically mounted into the vehicle, or because I thought it was just vehicles they drove around in, but no, they're actually part of the vehicle. So I'm sitting there thinking, okay, well, if they're built into the truck or the car or whatever, why are they wearing pants and shoes? What's the absolute point of wearing shoes and pants? If you're part of the vehicle, just... Do orcs have modesty? I don't know. Right, so I need to find somewhere to put that because it's in the wrong place. Plastic Monkey. Welcome, Plastic Monkey. Time for Mayor Hobby, Mr. Tools, Mr. Nipper, Mayor Cutty, Mr. Choppy. I think he means Mr. Mr. Hobby, Mr. Tools, Mr. Nipper, Mr. Cuppy, Mr. Pidgey, double. Wow, hang on. Whoa, my brain stopped. All my words broke. I was trying to say Mr. Dobalina, paging Mr. Dobalina, Mr. Bob Dobalina. Hi, Fox and all, says Plastic Monkey. Welcome, Plastic Monkey. You said big helmet, did I? I have no idea why I said that. Why did I say big helmet? I wouldn't say that, would I? I must have done. I don't know why I said that. I don't listen to myself, you know that. Right, let's see how much I can gash the crap out of my thumb today. I put a new blade in, and what I've been doing is, when I've been trimming things like that, I think I've had the blade resting on my thumb like that, when I'm like getting rid of nubs. And I must have sort of scritched it and scratched it with the blade, and it's just... I didn't even... Well, I knew I'd done one of them when I was cleaning my airbrush yesterday, and the isopropyl alcohol found the wound for me. I didn't know it was there. I'm like, that's a stabbing pain in my thumb. I'm guessing there's some sort of flesh wound. Ow. That was really painful. Yeah. So my thumb's a little bit sensitive today. And I can't really put my thumb over the blade because it's not really... I can't really... It's a way of anchoring the blade so it doesn't jump around too much, but it's also a way of hurting my thumb. But I can't put plaster on it because it's like trying to work on a model with a plaster on your finger or thumb is like, I don't know, trying to sew with boxing gloves on. Not that I've ever tried that, of course. Yeah. Anyway, how is everyone? I hope you're all well. Hope you're all safe and sound. Like I say, if you're in the UK, we're locked down now for 4 weeks. So let's just keep each other company as best we can. No different for me. I've said before in the first lockdown, it's we're on permanent lockdown anyway till Mama Fox can get a vaccine, so no different for us. Just like normal life with less trips to the corner shop. Kind of it, really. So we're lucky in a way. Tiny nubs. Ooh, that's pretty nasty. Oh dear. Oh, there's a. I don't know if you won't see on camera, but the mold line around this part is like brilliant white, like it's been stressed. But I don't know how you stress a 2-part mold injection mark. That's gnarly. That is. I mean, we're painting it, so it doesn't really matter, but ooh, it's like a brilliant white line all around the middle of it. You know, you get the injection mold because it's 2-part mold. You get the line down the middle. Has anything else got that? Just seems to be that one piece. Gosh. Gosh-tastic. Right, I need to sniffle 1 second. There we go. I'm just noticing with some amusement, oh, sorry, knocking the microphone, on these tyres, you won't see it yet, but on the tyres there's like a strip down the middle. Like a little raised piece of tread. Now when I did the wheels on the other one that we did the other day, that I've forgotten already what it's called, the Mega Track, oh, the Scrapjet, Mega Track Scrapjet is the other, oh, for God's sake, Games Workshop, stupid orc names. Scrapjet Megatrack, or Megatrack Scrapjet. When I did the custom booster blaster, it had that big seam down the middle of the tyre. I couldn't get rid of it. So I filled in the raised bits and just said it's part of the tread. Ironically, on these, they actually have a little bit of an etched detail into the tyre to suggest a tread right down the middle. I feel vindicated. Oh, Scrapjet Megatrack, or Megatrack, that's the other one. Yes. I'm losing the ability. Oh, wow, hello. 1 second, folks. I'm clearly just absolutely balked today. I can't talk. When I do talk, it's nonsense. Words don't work, and my voice fails. I'm clearly just broken today. And I've got no idea what we're starting to talk about, so we'll just move on. Yes, I hope you're all having a good day today. Hope you're all staying safe. As always, I shall ask the question, bench and belly. What's on your bench? What are you working on at the moment? Doesn't have to be a model kit, could be anything. What's your current creative endeavour? And what are you having or had for your dinner? What are your current food plans? Bench, obviously, for me is this, and dinner tonight. I am defrosting some of my Heck Chicken Italia sandwiches now. Chicken Italia sausages, which, excuse me, burpage. I don't know if I'm going to do them with chips because I'm lazy and I can't be bothered doing cooking, or whether I'll do them with proper ricey type stuff. I don't know yet. I might even make some Fox's Mess, but I'm not sure yet. It depends what time I finish streaming and how much I can be bothered doing actual cooking. If I'm in lazy mode, it's just something in chips. Chips, I just set it off for 12 minutes. There you go, bang. Sausages, okay, I've got to keep an eye on them, but it's, 15 minutes. If I'm feeling really lazy, it's takeaway. That's only when I'm feeling really lazy. But tonight we've got the sausages. And I'll either, if I do it with chips, it's just sausage and chips. Maybe some gravy, if I feel creative. And maybe some beans or some what we call tubes, which is just a tin of, Heinz macaroni cheese. Or some spaghetti oops. We have lots of If you think I'm eating a crappy diet, I don't always eat such crappy food. It's just obviously because we can't go out to shops. We've tended to, over the last few months, to buy lots of tin things and not easily perishable stuff. Stuff that can, sit in a box for months. So, yeah, we've got a lot of crap to eat. If I get fancy, though, it might be time to do some rice, some brown rice and some chopped up veggies in there, mixed in. Bit of Fox's mess. Oops. Don't forget, by the way, folks, I do have the chat here in front of me. You can see it on my iPad. Hopefully the picture and sound is okay for you, by the way. I do have the chat in front of me. While I've got my little flippy flappy lenses down, I can't. This chat is just a blur. So if you do want to catch my attention in chat, please, please do interact with the live chat. That's what this stream is about. Please put your comment in capital letters, so I have a chance to just spot it amongst the comments. Or if you want to, you can do a super chat, and you do that by clicking the little dollar symbol at the bottom of the chat window. That puts your chat in a coloured box and puts an little animation thing up here so I can't miss it. And it also helps support this channel a little bit as well. But you don't have to do that, it's completely optional. Right, that goes there. Do I need to worry about this edge? Does it have something that goes over it? I get quite obsessive about edges. And then I spend all the time cleaning them up, and then I actually find that the edge gets covered up with something. So I'm just checking through the instructions now. Probably it does get covered up, but I will see what I can do. Yeah. Oh, knocking the camera, I do apologise. Where's my scrapey tool? There it is. So that's the food for this evening. The belly. But if I do them with rice and stuff, then what I'll do is I shall chop them into little bits and fry them up, and then mix them into the rice and veggies, rather than just have some sausages and a plate of rice, because that's a bit rubbish. So I just make what's called Fox's mess, which is like brown rice and various vegetables and mixed in, and lots of sauces and things. And my mouth's watering already. Fantastic. But then I chop them up, and you basically just get a bowl of goodness, which is how I like things. The best meals come in a big bowl, and it's just munged up together. That's my favourite food. I don't really have a favourite food, but I have a favourite presentation, which is just bowl o' stuff munged up. Sticky, lots of sauce. Not like sauce, like floaty sauce, but sticky because it's got like sauce, whatever in it. Some sort of saucy things to make it not dry. That's my favourite way of having food. Plates are alright, but plate is just some flat layers of food. If you get a bowl, you can dig your fork in and munge it around and really shovel it into your face. If you've got a plate, you've got to feel civilised and be doing this with your knife. No. That's where peas come into it, and I don't like peas. There'll be no peas in our time. Rubbish. Now this, of course, is a 2-piece bit. And we have the nub right over the top of that air grabber. Assuming it's an air intake. Wait, on the Boomdakka Snazzwagon instructions is that Molotov chucking orc carrying a massive boom gun. Hang on. Do you mean the guy on the back? No, he has the actual mounted weapon in the vehicle. He's stood in the back, and he's got one hand on the big mounted weapon. You can see there. But he's also cobbing a Molotov at the same time. Yes, it says the weapon is the big shooter. Oh, hang on, no. Wait. The mech special. Oh, there's two guns. It's actually, there's a big shooter and a mech special. I think the mech special is the one on the left and the big shooter is the one on the right. He's actually got two weapons. The big shooter has a range of 36, assault 3. The mech special has a range of 24 inches, assault 9. You can use the abilities Here We Go, Mob Rule, Dakka Dakka Dakka, and Speed Mob. Riding Shotgun. When this model shoots, it can throw a grenade and shoot with its pistols in addition to any other weapons. Grot Gunner. Add 1 to hit rolls for attacks made with this model's big shooter and grot blaster. Billowing Fumes. Subtract 1 from hit rolls for attacks made with ranged weapons that target this model. I don't know what any of that means, but it sounds glorious. Anyway, where were we? Of course, Of course, if you're German, it's got the abilities Dacke, 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 Grüne Mob, Heizer Mob, and Jetzt geht los. Jetzt geht los. Jetzt geht's los. Jetzt geht los. I think that means here we come. Heinz und Ballen, wenn dieses Model scheißte, kann es so sachlich zu allen anderen Waffen eine Granate werfen und mit seinen Pistolen scheißen. I love German so much, I really wish I could understand it. Explosion, wenn dieses Model auf, I can't do numbers, 0 Lebenspunkte reduziert wird, wirf einen W6. B4+, explodiert es und jede Einheit innerhalb von W6 soll erledigt. W3, tödliche Verwundung. You trip up over some words. I love German so much. I really love German. I really wish I could speak it and understand it. I know the occasional word, and I can sort of read it sort of a little bit maybe, but, you know, reading it out, but then there's always one word that just trips me up. And I always get my V's and W's mixed up. I know V is word and W is V, but sometimes I get it wrong. I won't do that again. I've just annoyed everybody who's actually German in the world. So yeah, anyway, this is a two-piece thing, so I don't want to get rid of that nub yet. I want to make sure that's flat. If I try and take off the nub on this side and the nub on that side, I risk having two sides that are now different heights because I've sanded this side down more than that side. So the best thing to do with any two-part thing like that, I want to fill in the gap that goes right around the middle, and I also want to get rid of those nubs. So what I'm going to do is glue it together first. You've seen this a million times before, but I always have to assume that somebody watching might never have seen this before. So what we're going to do is we're going to get some glue and sploot it down the middle. Sploot, not a real word. Even I know that sploot isn't a real word. Sploot some glue down there. Not really too fussed about the underneath because you're probably not going to see that. But now this is Tamiya extra thin, so it seeps into that gap quite nicely. You can't do this with regular polystyrene cements because they're too thick. This is thin enough to just suck into the gap. We'll give it a quick few seconds to do its thing. And eine Momente bitte. And then after about 30 seconds, we just squeeze those two sides together. You've seen this before. You squeeze the two sides together. And what that does is, ow, with the sticky out bits. What that does is the glue melts the plastic a little tiny bit because it's a welding cement. And that little bit of melted plastic splunges out the gap because you're squeezing it. It splunges out the gap and makes a little bead of glue. Imagine you've got a delicious spongy cream cake. You've got a delicious sponge layer with a big, like, inch deep layer of squirty cream. And then you've got another sponge layer on top. And if you compress that, like that, the spongy layer, the creamy stuff goes out the sides. That's what the melted plastic's doing. And what you're doing, I really want cake now. And what you're doing is you're basically creating this little bead of melted plastic, which when it's all dried, I can then go back and sand, and it's filled its own gap. You're filling the gap with the model's own plastic. Because I hate using filler, because I'm lazy. Also not very talented at that. So there we go. That can sit there for a minute. I've got an itchy nose. Little known fact, you can't put peas in a bowl, says Chris. I don't know why. Fox seems to imply that they only come on plates. Yeah, no, you don't have peas with them. You don't have, like, if you have, like, something, and I don't mean, okay, here's how it works. If you have something that includes peas, like some sort of casserole or stew that has peas in it, then obviously you're going to have peas in a bowl. But for all intents and purposes, peas are normally on the side. You can, like, you know, ham, chips, and peas. So where peas aren't mixed in, you can't do that in a bowl. But also, peas are rubbish, and peas should be still legal. I say legalise all drugs, but make peas illegal because they're rubbish. Peas do more harm than you would think. Peas are the cause of most of the world's problems in one way or another, probably. Disclaimer, I'm making this up, it's not real. I've got the rocker covers. I know my engine terms. I know. I'm probably wrong. There'll be no peas in our time. I can't do that accent. Never mind. Now, you see, the problem we have here... oh, no. I thought it was like a little raised lip around the edge of the rocker cover. And I was going to complain that the nub actually includes the side of the rocker cover and the nub, and there's no way to get that off without taking the little raised bit away. But there isn't. It's just like a light band of plastic around the edge. It's weird. Very strange mould, this one. If I didn't know better, just looking at the plastic, it's a ruler. I don't know why I've got a ruler. Just looking at the plastic, I'd be tempted to say this wasn't a GW moulding. It just doesn't look like, you know, the stress marks and the light bits around the edges. It's there's something weird going on. It's like the Warhammer Conquest stuff. You know that's not a GW because the plastic just doesn't feel right. It's really weird. I did get a how to speak German thing once, like, you know, a book and some cassettes. And I'd be tempted to take it up again, except I've got nothing to play audio cassettes on. Just no chance. Also, the difficulty I have with German and other romantic languages, and romantic doesn't mean as in romance, is that, of course, they're based on Latin, and the way they work with the nouns and verbs and the conjugations, it's based on Latin. And it kind of makes sense if you're familiar with that, if you did Latin. I didn't do Latin at school because I wasn't in the Ponzi intelligence. I was in the thick set. We did French for business. So yeah, with no experience of the Latin languages, sometimes it's like, you don't say I go to the shops, you say I to the shops go, which in certain situations, which from a certain point of view makes perfect sense, unless you've never studied the languages that use that formula. Format even. Right, so that's there. I love peas, says David Sanderson. I don't love peas, says Osric. Osric's clearly correct. I believed I purchased my nippers from AliExpress. Price was cheaper than Amazon, says Paul Di Tommaso to Modelworks. Caterpillar Action, says Mayhem. Yes. Yeah, I'm stuck at home too, says Rabbit. Hey Rabbit, how you doing, my friend? Unless in soup, says Mayhem. Yes, soup. If it's in a soup. Well, why would you have peas in a soup? You pervert. Oh. And don't say pea soup. Obviously. Oh, peas in soup. No. The reason I hate peas is because they're just little balls of water. They're worse than cucumber. Cucumber is a tube of water that tastes foul. I don't know how it's got to. For some reason, I could eat. This is why I hate cucumber. I could eat the most flavoursome, richly flavoured. It could be spicy. It could be anything. Just a meal with like a range of flavours: the meats, the vegetables, the sauces, the spices. It could be the best curry in the world. It could be an amazing Thai dish. It could be, an enormous chunk of beef with barbecue sauce. It could be anything. But if there's one slice of cucumber in it, then when I burp an hour later, all I'm going to taste is cucumber. No matter what the other flavours are and how pungent those smells and tastes might be, the one thing that I'll taste when I burp is a little slice of slightly floppy water. I don't understand how a slice of water can... It's a horrible flavour. Same with peas. They don't taste bad, but they're just... apart from mushy. Mushy peas are acceptable. Mushy peas I will allow. Mushy peas are perfectly acceptable. And are actually recommended. A mushy pea should be compulsory for everyone who doesn't live up north. Because they need to understand why mushy peas are such a happy thing. Right, now I can glue these bits on because they don't affect me trying to take the mould line out later, or the seam line. I can just quickly blem them on there. Blem. And unlike on the Boomdakka Snazzwagon, which is this one, so it's not the Boomdakka Snazzwagon. What was the one we did last week? I've forgotten already. I really can't remember the damn names. The Hyper Jingle Jump Bollock, or whatever it's called. I don't know. Unlike that other one I showed you earlier, I'll get the rocker covers on the right way around this time. As you know, be nice. Actually, not getting the wrong way around, just for once. Why can't I remember the names? Custom Booster Blaster, that's it. God damn it. I'm going to have to write them down. Doodle doodle doo doodle doodle doo. I like the fact the gear shift, I assume that's the gear shift, has a human skull tied onto it. That's quite cool. Booster Blaster. Fox, are you one of those that takes the pickle out of a McDonald's burger? No, because that's a gherkin, and gherkins are awesome. I know it's weird because it's still a kind of cucumber, but just raw cucumber is just like, it's like a mouthful of, I don't know. I'd have the same reaction. I don't know. It's just, oh, I'm trying to tread carefully. I've just thought of many things I could say there that I probably don't want to ever say in public. But yeah, it's not, no. I like gherkins. I will happily buy a jar of gherkins and eat the crap out of them, no problem. This I can't put on yet because I need to get rid of them little nubs. Although I could do that. I don't need to get rid of the gap there, but I've just glued it. And if I try and get rid of the nubs now, it'll be a bit messy and gloopy. So I shall give it a minute. And we'll get rid of them nubs and then stick that on the front. He nearly shed gear shit. No, if I was going to say gear shit, I'd just say gear shit. Yeah. Lol, ink them on your forehead. Yes. Jump bollocks, says Peter Davey. Yes. Gherkins rule, says David Sanderson. They do. I like things like gherkins, and as our colonial cousins would call them, dill pickle and things like that, because they're kind of a sweet vinegary flavour, which is quite pleasant. But beans, cucumber just tastes like just nonsense. It just tastes like white middle class nonsense, is what it tastes like. British, obviously middle class, not any other middle class. Right, 16 and 13. British middle class is like every other middle class apart from 98% more wet and feeble. That's what our middle class are like. Get the floor pan out if I can find out where it's attached. There we go, it's attached there. Oops. Snicked, kaplunk. And we need part number 13. It was murder. Now we have to find part 13, which is there, yes. I always say I'm a painter, not a... Ow! Son of a bitch! Oh. The one thing I'm not enjoying about these vehicles, and I've got to be honest with you here, it's like the deathcore stuff, it's the spikes. Because I swear, I just spiked myself in the existing wound on my thumb with something that had the spikes everywhere on the wheels, on the tyres. When I was building the custom booster blaster yesterday, spikes there. You just put your thumb on something, it's like stab. So these might actually be from spikes on the model. I don't actually know, but you know, I'm gonna have to. Have I got a plaster? Do I even have a plaster? Damn it! I've got some plasters downstairs, but I don't want to go downstairs. I'll just take the pain. For you guys, I'll take the pain. Yeah, so with the spikes everywhere, you just go jab. I was building when I was doing the wheels and trying to sand the seam lines off the wheels yesterday, my fingers were dimpled to hell because of all the spikes. Yeah, right, where's that part 13? I've just lost it now. My thumb is really sore. I'm just sucking my thumb. What's that? Pain. Hello everyone, says Darren20159. Welcome, Darren. Orc stuff is made of shit gear, I suppose. It's made of whatever they can find. I used to love cucumbers when I was younger, now they're just crunchy water, says Mayhem. Yeah, pretty much. Middle class, the lead betters in the good life. Yeah. You know what? That's what middle class is still like. Just more annoying now. I mean, I don't know if I'm middle class or lower class. I really don't know. I know Chris is probably saying, well, lower class. Massively lower class. I don't know. I don't think we're middle class. We certainly have never had an Austin Princess. Yeah, so like empty beer cans and beer bottles. Well, they're not. They're just bottles and cans, but they are rather funky. That's going to be quite interesting to paint those. They even got the little ring pull details on them, which is quite nice. So where do orcs get cans of stuff from there? Who cans drinks in the 41st millennium? And would they still have safety ring pulls on them? Is that really a thing that would happen in the 41st millennium? Millennium, even? Remember, folks, if you need to get my attention in chat, please do it in big capital so I have a chance to see it, or do a super chat. Otherwise, I might miss your comment because I can't see anything about here. I can't see anything with these lenses on. With my magnifiers on, so I do. And if I do miss your comment, just give it 5 minutes and post it again if it's been missed. So anyway, yes, how are you all? Those of you who are in the UK, have you been affected by this lockdown? Are you shut in? Or are you in a job where you can still go to work? How are you faring? It's only for 4 weeks, hopefully, so. I'm trying to think of something to talk about, but all I can think about is my thumb going throb, throb. If you've ever done that when you've got like a little cut on your thumb or your finger, it's never on a finger that you don't use very often. Like I don't often use my middle finger, so I don't. But like the finger and thumb, it's maximum grip situations, and it's always your finger and index finger and thumb that you end up with little tiny like knife cuts on. They're only shallow, but it means that every time I touch something, it's like, oh, pain. The universe works against me at all times, I think. On camera? Yes. Hopefully sound and picture is okay for you. We'll have a look at chat in a moment, of course. I'm asking you all these questions and then not actually looking at chat. Right. I'm sanding the crap out of this little tiny component, and it's actually going to go, A, you're never going to see it, and B, it goes underneath the vehicle. It might go there, actually. Where does it go? It goes... Okay, it goes underneath the vehicle, so you're actually never ever going to see it ever in the history of the entire universe. Because once that's glued onto the base, you're not going to... I don't know. Why do you do this to us, Games Workshop? Funny, really. Also, it makes you wonder, you know, when they're designing a model kit and you have to decide in the model kit, you know, which bits are actual parts and which bits are just going to be molded in. And you have to think, well, why is this bit a part you have to add? And yet all of that is molded in. Why didn't they make that whole piece there? Or why make that a separate part? Is it just to give you a bit more, use a bit more space on the sprue because they had that little space left and they had to fill it with something? Is it just because they couldn't mould that sticky out bit with this bit around it? Is it just something they couldn't create in the mould? Interesting how they decide what's glue, what's, you know, moulded in and what's a separate part. Must be fascinating to try and work it out. I mean, I know they do try to just cram as much and as a few sprues as possible. And that's obviously evident because the way the parts are all higgledy-piggledy on the sprues. Whereas, for example, Bandai, they have the same thing. They want to minimise the number of sprues, but at the same time, they also try to keep them kind of logically ordered. So, you know, you might find all the parts for one part of your Bandai kit on one sprue or one or two sprues. And all kind of in order. So part 3 is next to part 4 if you do them in that order. Games Workshop don't do that. I think they just say, right, here's some parts, here's a sprue. Break it down to as few parts as you can. There you go, a few sprues as possible. Many parts as you can, but on one sprue or 2 sprues. Doodle-doodle-doo, doodle-doo-doo-doo. Nubulations. Nubbage. Again, these might just get covered up by bodywork, but you can't assume. If you assume, you just make an ass of you and me. Assume, you see, ass, you. Yeah, it's an old joke. Oh, very middle class joke, sorry. I'll shut up now. Have a look at chat momentarily. I can see chat moving out of the corner of my eye. I'm actually sticking my tongue out. I've just noticed. I'm actually sitting here with my tongue sticking out. Like a mlem while I'm working. A thinking mlem. Or is that a blep? I can't remember. It's a blep, isn't it? A mlem is when you've got the... a blep is when it's like a little bit of tongue sticking out. Accidentally because you're thinking or doing something. I don't know what I'm talking about. Look up mlem and blep. You'll see what I mean. Get a bit of that. Et voilà. Du châssis, c'est bon. Quick look at chat. Squig Brew and Orcs open them with their teeth. Ah, there you go then. Squig Brew. That makes sense. Which is probably made from squigs, with squigs, and bottled by squigs, for squigs, out of squigs. Oh. And the bottles are probably actually a form of squig. And the lid is probably also a form of squig. That was the shortest ever doctor's appointment. Seen on time and out in 10 minutes, says Graham. Awesome. Hope all is well. No rubber glove then, says Mayhem. Oh. David Sanderson is off work for a month. Graham says no rubber glove on this occasion. It's always the shallow cuts that hurt, says Mayhem. It's like the paper cuts. Paper cuts are the worst. I would rather fracture every bone in my body than have a paper cut. Mayhem says still working but on holiday and in Scotland, so not on total lockdown yet. I work for a bank and can work from home. I hate it, but better off than a lot of people, says Osric. Exactly. Still working over here, but on reduced hours, says Graham. Underdog Painting's in. Hey, mate, thank you for joining my live the other day. Hey, no, you're more than welcome. I could only pop in for a few minutes, sadly. I was kind of on my way to somewhere else, but I thought I'd pop in and say hello. And it's Space Wolves, of course I'm going to pop in. I might make all my Space Marine Space Wolves. I've got some to build, so I'm kind of edging that way. Do mine as Space Puppies, because you can't help but like Space Puppies. I'm not doing bloody Ultramarines. Ugh. Ugh. We're up to... Plastic Monkey says, still working, a school bus driver. Stay safe, dude. Wear a mask, obviously, because them kids, they'll just be made of disease and filth. And I mean, they are anyway. The kids are made of filth and dirt and filthy, dirty creatures. I'd just wear an entire hazmat suit around them 24/7, even if there wasn't a pandemic. Stay safe, buddy. We're up to... Nubs, the Nubs, says Mayhem. Yes. Hope everyone is okay in the chat. We're just asking that, actually. What we just asked a moment ago. Thinking blep, thinking mlem makes you a woomly mlemeth. A woomly mlemeth. Yes. Mayhem says Underdog, I've just subbed. Thank you, means a lot. Christopher C's in. Welcome, Christopher C. Hello, hello. Welcome, welcome. Tiberian Sun says Moan to Fox and chat. Guten Abend. Or Guten Tag. I still don't know which it is. I don't know when Guten Tag starts and Guten Abend finishes. I don't know. Hello. Welcome, Tiberian sun. Right, so we've done the floor pan, even. Now we have to glue on the axle, yeah, the axle gubbins. And it literally says axle gubbins on the box, I think. Is it? Hang on. Rear axle gubbins, it says that, look. Bits. Why did I say gubbins? That's on the other vehicle, it says gubbins. Rear axle bits. And they only point them out. It's funny the way they point them out, but it's because it's a separate piece. It's like having a thing saying wheels. 17. I'm just talking nonsense now, aren't we? Utter nonsense. 17. Where are you, 17? Kommen Sie here. 17. There's no point me looking for the actual number. It's absolutely pointless because they're not in the order. I'm just looking for the bit that looks like a rear axle. That will be the bit that has rear axle qualities, such as being a stick with a differential in the middle. Usually the giveaway is the big ass diff. There we are. Big ass diff made to make your car moving. Reminds me of my Land Rover. Sadness. My Landy that I miss. My dear, dear, sweet Landy that I miss so much. Tubbs. God bless her and all who sail in her. Still, not many people can say that their car lives on in a magazine, because it does. It was in a copy of Land Rover Owner magazine after I'd sold it, so I can look in the magazine and see my old car at any time. Oh, there, I've got the magazine over there. I bought it specially. I've got a back order of it, back print of it. I can't remember how I found it. I think I just did a search for the registration number, and there was a forum entry, and the person that bought it from me said, "Oh, it's going to be in this month's LRO magazine." I thought, "Oh, I'll have to order that." Zoink. I think it was December 2015. Land Rover Owner International. I think. I can't remember. I've shown it on a stream before anyway, so. Gubbins. Now, I've got a problem. I need help with. Not that kind of problem, behave. I'm sitting here, and I've said the other day that like Warhammer Sunday will be me making things. The problem is, I've actually run out of space to put things in. My cabinets are full. And I've got no space for more cabinets. But I'm sitting here building these vehicles, and I've got Baneblade and all my other bits and bobs to build. I've got nowhere to put them. I could just get more skirmish case type things, I suppose, but not a cheap way to, you get one or two vehicles into a skirmish case, and that's kind of it. And, I'm not going to fit a Baneblade in a skirmish case. Not very easily, I don't think. Gubbins. Okay, let's hold that to there. That's not very smooth, Fox. Come on, you do better than that, you slacker. Smooth it. I like to smooth it. Gubbins. It's the wrong one. I'm trying to practice building fast, you see, for my Christmas E-models build. I very much fear I won't have finished the build by the end of the show. I just won't. I won't even started painting it. I just won't. Although I do have a plan. I might. If you're not familiar with what that is, it's the E-models Christmas show where me, Chris, Colin and Ted have 4 hours to do a build. And it's usually a Mong chibi tank, like a Mong World War Toons tank. And I usually pre-build or pre-assemble sub-assemblies and pre-prime it, because I know it takes me forever to build, and I just spend the 4 hours painting. But I've been hassled and pressured into not doing that, so this year I've got to start from opening the box. So I thought what I might do, I'm doing a Churchill tank, so what I might do is do it as Deathcore Krieg, which means I can paint it like German grey, one coat, primer, German grey, weathering. I might, if I can build it fast, that might be able to get away with that. As in, when I say get away with, I mean be able to get it finished. You know what I mean. Right, axle gubbins. Goes in there like that. Love. You don't even need to glue that. I wouldn't even... Technically, I don't need to glue that in because that's just locked in place. Lovely. Fits together beautifully. Beautifully. Did anyone answer bench and belly? No, I've not heard any... I've not seen too many foodstuffs listed. Remember, when we ask bench and belly, we don't actually care about the bench bit. It's the belly bit that we really want to know about. It's the rear axle attachulated. Cool, I'll have a look at chat. Where are we up to? I'm off work for a month due to recovering from my operation, but I wish I could go back, says Jamie Bone. Yeah, I mean, that's the thing. If see, I've said before... I need to clear my throat, one sec. I've said before that I'm a real homebody, so I'm more than happy to sit at home all day, every day. And whether I've got something to do, because I mean, I'm lucky to have this for my living, so I can do this, but even if I've got nothing to do, I can quite happily sit and just poodle about on the Xbox, or I can watch TV, or I can just read or whatever. I'm quite content not to be out and about with people. It's just the way I am. So, and I always hated working, because I always worked for companies that I didn't care about, like, you know, call centres. Telecoms call centres. I'm not going to care about telecoms call centres. So, yeah. So I'd be quite happy if I had a 9-to-5 job, or, you know, actual work job. I'd probably be all right with the time off, to be perfectly honest. Because it'd probably be a crappy job anyway. I've got the sniffles again. I do apologise. Right, we've got some bits to do. We've got to create the front axles and front wishbone suspension system. But we also need to put the engine in place, which means we may have to clean up this seam line. So I'm going to have a quick look at chat. Then we'll do that. I use the really useful boxes. They stack nicely and you get a range of depths. I do have a few, actually. That's my way of thinking currently, is to get some more of those. Because what I intend on doing is building these things. All the things I build, most of them I intend to sell them. But of course, normally it's not a problem, because I build something, I film it or I stream it. Then when it's finished, I stick it on eBay, I sell it, and I send it off to someone. And I don't have to worry about where to store it. But of course, I can't do that at the minute, because I can't go to the post office. I'm sort of shielding Mama Fox, so I can't go to a post office because A, it's closed, and B, it's full of people made of disease. So I can't risk Mama Fox's health by going to... So anyway, I can't post anything, so... Yeah. Royal Mail do a post things, collect them from home type service, but I read the blurb and it's like, it doesn't make any sense. So they're kind of piling up at the minute. But yes, I might get myself some of them little storage boxes. Might be a good idea. I've got a whole mess of bubble wrap. Tiberian Sun says Guten Abend starts at 6 PM, Guten Morgen 4 AM to 11 AM, but it's more like if the opponent works or not. Yeah, it's very confusing. Guten Abend, I thought that Guten Abend was afternoon, but afternoon starts at like midday for us, so I guess it's evening, isn't it? Good evening. Guten Abend. I always thought Abend, like in that case, yeah, does Abend mean evening? I thought it meant afternoon. I'm an idiot. Graham's asking Jamie how the operation went, and Jamie says it went okay. It was on my heart, and I was awake the whole time. And Graham says it's damn scary that I had the same last year, and mind you, the morphine helped. John Thompson, welcome, John, says I use really... Oh, you've done that one, Fox, you spoon. Thank you for that, John. Beautiful gubbins, says Mayhem Model Works. Jamie Brown says, the morphine bit was fun. The worst part was the tube going into my groin. Moving away from that one very quickly. Sarah Jane says, catch a ride. Sorry, Fox, I can't help myself. You're more than welcome to shout scooter phrases all over my chat. I don't mind. Jamie Brown says, bench FX 135th Tiger, 131, belly, Cornish pasties, mashed potatoes and beans. Oh, get in. Watching this reminds me, I found my Tab Empire starter kit in storage of the day. I never opened. Do it. Do it. I can't. Is that the one that comes with a load of dudes and a battle suit? Is it a rip? Doesn't come with a riptide, does it? Is it a ghost keel? Or is it riptide? I can't remember. Is that the start collecting set? Graham M says, I got the groin shave, but then they went through my wrist. Oh, you got a free groin shave out of it, I suppose. They can make the porn films. Christopher C says, hot chicken chunks with extra sauce. Is that what you had for food, or is that just a statement of are you swearing? Oh, hot chicken chunks with extra sauce. Hot chicken chunks with extra sauce, side of ranch dressing. Nice. And doesn't mention what he's building, because we don't care about the building bit, really. Done, but I have the one that throws the barrel, says Sarah Jane. Oh, you're talking Borderlands 3, 2. I missed a comment somewhere. Captain Nemo's in. I say, hey Fox, how's things? I hope you're keeping safe. I'm fine, thank you very much. Hope you're okay. Bench, nothing. Belly, mixed meat, curry, and egg fried rice. Sounds very Japanese. Jamie Bowen says, I had a cannula in my wrist, but the groin shave made me jump. Yeah, especially if you weren't expecting it. Whoa, what are you doing down there? People are talking about like obtrusive medical procedures. We'll step away from them now. The squeams are appearing. Got to go now. Food is ready. I will try and get back in the stream later, says Jamie. Enjoy your food, dude. I'll be here till about 6 o'clock, I think. So maybe we'll see you in a bit. Mayhem says, Guten Abend, Tiberian Sun, but he did explain that's from 6 p.m. So you've embarrassed yourself internationally. You've just created an international incident, and you just have to leave now. Unless I've just got that wrong and I've embarrassed myself. No, just Crazy Base comes with a lot of guys in battle suits. Oh, okay. I can't remember which one it was. People are talking about the vehicles in Borderlands 2. I loved Borderlands. Did I finish Borderlands 2? I think I finished Borderlands 2, but I found it still fun, but a bit more of a hard slog. And Borderlands 3, I gave up after about 10 hours. I kind of got bored. I don't know, not even 10 hours. I just kind of got bored. It really was just like, I'm not feeling it. I don't know why. I think it was because in Borderlands 1, I mainlined caustic battle rifles, assault rifles, combat rifles they called them. Elemental combat rifles like the acid one that melted armor. And they had the triple shot, and I used to love those. So I mainlined that and a sniper rifle. And that was my weapon selection. In Borderlands 2, there was a lot more weapons, and it's like, I've still not found the weapons I like, but it was alright. But Borderlands 3, I'm like, I'm getting a new weapon every 5 seconds. I don't know what to do. There's too much. It's like modern special effects. It was overwhelming, and it didn't grab me at all. I might go back and try it again. I don't know. I didn't get more than 5 hours in. I got to the ship bit where where you get your ship, and then I went to, I don't even remember. None of it sticks in my mind at all. Yeah, I didn't really feel Borderlands 3 at all, to be perfectly honest. Sarah Jane says, the first Borderlands was my favourite. Absolutely. Yeah, it was caustic combat rifles, fire or caustic, and then sniper rifles as well. Bloody spider ants. Right, so I'm going to clean the engine block, wasn't I? Yes. So, I need to get rid of these 2 nubs first. Nub removal across the universe. Try not to gouge my finger out, because that really hurts. So these, I'm not bothered about the seam line. I just want to get rid of these 2 nubs so I can put the engine front in place. I just need to get this flat-ish. That'll do. You're never going to see that. So this can go on there like that. You see there, lovely. That's lovely, that is. But I don't want to glue it on just yet because I need to get to that. So what we have now is it's about half an hour. This should be cured enough that I can start to flatten down that bead of melted plastic and take the nub with it. Now you could sand this, but sanding's quite messy, and it does leave texture and marks. This is less likely to do. I will give it a sand in a second, but I can go in with a finishing sand rather than the actual getting rid of anything sanding. I can go in with 1000 grit, for example, and just make sure I've got rid of the seam. I might have to go in with the file, maybe. But it's supposed to be like the air grabber, so it needs to be kind of smooth. You can leave it longer for the glue to cure if you want, but I tend to find about half an hour is good enough. Half an hour, 45 minutes. Let's go in with some sandy. I might do a little bit of filing on that nub, to be honest. Hold it up to the light and have a look, and there's a little bit of a hint of the seam there, right up against that edge. I don't mind it looking a little bit battered, because again, it's going to be an Orc vehicle. It's all found parts and recycled and upcycled parts. I'm just using my smooth file here to get rid of that nub because it's not quite gone away. This file doesn't do a great deal of damage, so it's not going to leave lots of scratches, or not too many. Okay, there. And if I did make a mess of this, I could get round it by putting a greeble in there. On the custom booster blaster, I did a little bit of plastic card hiding seam lines shenanigans, because on the weapon at the back, the bolt gun, there's like a ribbed bit in the middle. It's about that long. It's little ribbed, almost like a plasma coil, and the seam line goes right down the middle of it, and you can't sand it out. It's dead small. So in the end, I just put some plastic card greebles on top of it, as if it's part of the weapon, and it seems to work. It seemed to work, so I think I got away with it. If in doubt, mod it out. I like this file. It came with the Mong starter tool set, which is like a knife and a file and stuff. The nippers that came with it were garbage, but the file's actually quite nice. It's quite mild, so it doesn't leave a lot of damage behind. It works nicely, but it doesn't leave lots of scratches and scrapes. Well, not too many anyway. Right, so a little bit of the seam there, the bead of glue. I can't get the file in there, so I'm just going to try and very gently carve it out. If in doubt, carve it out carefully, because I want to keep a straight edge and I don't want to scratch too much. Looking nice and smooth, I think, once that's primed. I've got some scratchiness there, so what I need to do, I'm just holding it up to the light to make sure I've got it looking good. What I'm going to do is I'm going to get my Tamiya extra thin, and I'm going to smooth it over a bit. Little scratchy bits where I've had the file or the sanding sponge, just little fibres of plastic have popped up, and extra thin will just melt those little fibres down, little scratchy bits, and smooth off any little imperfections, so that once it's primed you won't see any of that. Now I have made a little bit of a mess of that little bit round the edge. I've kind of softened the edge of it a little bit, and what I'm tempted to do is get some plastic card and add a bit to that, I think. Let me get some plastic card. Hang on a minute. Nothing wrong with adding greebles to things. Evening all, says Phil Lewis. Welcome, Phil Lewis. 1-1 works the whole day, but I think a lot about the spoon thing. I think it's like face palm, is that right? Hey, I don't get that. I think a lot about the spoon thing. I call people spoon. It's like calling someone an idiot. But it's like an affectionate way of saying, you're an idiot. You're a spoon. Yeah, you spoon. It's like face palming at them. I got the first gun onto the S100 patrol boat. Belly, I've made a monster shepherd's pie, enough for 6, but there's only 2 of us. I'll be round in 5 minutes. Apparently pies aren't fond of air travel, says Graham to Sarah Jane. Diamond files are much better than your standard files. Yeah, I don't know if... I suspect that's not a diamond file. It came with the Mong starter set, and like I said, the nippers were terrible and fell apart within 10 seconds. The knife blade, the knife is a knife. It's just a knife, not very good. It's alright. But this is kind of quite good. It probably isn't diamond. Anyway, right, let's do some jiggery pokery. In fact, no, let's get rid of that. Let's get rid of the mould line around the rest of the engine first, and then we'll do a bit of plastic card goodness. Talking of pies, I made another of my legendary corned beef, onion and potato ones and didn't have any because her indoors snaffled it and I took it to her dad's last night. Ugh. Heartless. Never mess with another man's pie. When she realised she could, she never stopped to think if she should. Is what you're trying to say there, basically. So again, we just get rid of this filled in seam. Runs down the middle. Straight down the middle. It's tricky on this ball thing because gap is actually quite significant and I don't want to make the ball not smooth. So I'm using the knife here because it's a bit smaller than the scraping tool. I prefer the scraping tool. Let's see if we can do it with the scraping tool. It's just in some situations the scraping tool's a bit big. Smaller sponge. And don't forget, I'm not stressing too much about the engine. I want to try and get rid of the mould lines, of course, but ultimately I'm going to cover this in grease and oil and crud. Because it's an Orc engine. It's not a showroom car. It's built by an Orc who doesn't actually know how it works, but just hopes it works, and because he hopes it works, it works. That's how the Orcs do. But what I'm doing really is, if you watched this earlier on, and you're not familiar with this, I squeezed out the glue between the gap to fill the gap, and now I'm very carefully shaving and carving that little bead of glue away, carving it back down to the level of the rest of the plastic. So I can't quite get anything in there to sand that. It's a bit of a pain. Where's that little file gone? I don't like filing round things. Might have to be a convenient layer of gunk and oil grime and type stuff on there, I think. Oh, then again. There's handy. Look at that. I split my end. No, it doesn't really work, actually. That gear shift is just in the wrong way. Which will have to suffice. I pull my hair out trying to get things nice and smooth and clean that 99% of people would either never notice or wouldn't bother with. Most people wouldn't even notice it if I didn't do it. But, hey, I know it's there. What we'll do again is we'll take the extra thin, almost none of it on the brush. We'll just run it along that, just to smooth off any scrapey from the knife blade. Now, I can still see the gap, but I'm hoping that that's just a difference in the colour of the plastic because it's been stressed, and that once it gets some primer on it, it gets filled up by the primer and becomes invisible. Good eye, it's invisible. How did you know it was the dreaded Bew Goy Goy, mate? Well, I knew it was the Bew Goy Goy by the way it looked. What did it look like? It was completely invisible. Get off my show, mate. Okay, there's a mould line or seam line right down the middle of the... What do you call... On a gear stick, what do you call the little... You've got the gear stick and you've got the gear knob on the end and you've got the rubber thing, the sleeve around it. What's that called? Is there a name for that apart from, you know, the sleeve? Does it actually have a name? Is it the sleeve? I guess it would be the sleeve, wouldn't it? Yes, there's a seam line going right down the middle of that, which is super awkward. Also, I can't quite get anything in there to clean it up. But it will be, it's going to be in the cab, and I can use the glue again. Well, actually, let me get the knife in there first. I need to, if I can carve it back a bit on some of these edges. First, I just can't get anything in there to sand it. I don't use sandpaper, you see, so I don't have any. I do have some, but it's like really fine and therefore no use whatsoever. Is it a gator? The rubber thing? Could be a gator, I suppose. Quanoman's in. Hi all, says Quanoman. Welcome, Quano Man. That engine should be done with Starship Filth, says Mayhem. Could be. Thank you, Fox. I'm teaching myself English, and the school English and German is only... Oh, that's amazing. Spoon, you got it. Fits so much, isn't it? Oh, that's an amazing spoon you got. Oh, okay, I've got you. Well, spoon is something I made up. I wouldn't say it's official English. I just call people spoon when I don't want to call them something rude. I wouldn't take my English as an example of actual English. Now you watch. I bet all these bits here are completely invisible once it's all assembled. I have to admit, I'm always impressed at my viewers who are non-native English speakers, as in English isn't their first language. The fact that anybody could watch me without having English as their first language, I mean, I couldn't watch a non-English video. I speak very little, tiny amount of French that I learnt at school, what, 25, 30 years ago, and haven't ever used, apart from once. So I couldn't follow a video in French, and that's the only language I can speak other than English. So yeah, I'm always impressed. But then again, you see, we don't teach our kids any. Well, we do now. You know, historically we haven't. Whereas I know you guys in Europe, you guys learn English like just when you're like 3. Right, scribing tool. Let's put some little ribs back into this gaiter or sleeve or sheath or whatever you want to call it. I think it's a gaiter, isn't it? Like a... I think. The thing around the gear stick. I know it's to stop dust and crap getting into the gear mechanism. But of course, sanding it means that you lose some of the little ridges and recesses. So a scribing tool is a great way to get them back. If you flattened it down a bit too much. Now this will of course be, when it's painted, this gaiter will be a dark grey colour with a black wash, some highlights. So all this time I'm spending carving all these details back in, you won't see them anyway. I'm actually making a mess of it there. It's gone a bit messy. So, time for the extra thin to fix all our mistakes. Smooths it off, blends it together. if you're a sculptor and you work with clay, you'll be familiar with that concept. You know, you get your thing you've sculpted, and then before it all cures, you get it wet and you smooth off the edges with the water to soften the clay. Same principle. Right, so that's there. Need to clean these bits. Clean the top bits, no problem. The recesses, that's a bit more tricky. I could just get a set of needle files. If I actually had a set of needle files, this would be a lot more easier, but I keep meaning to get a set and never do. I've got various files, but they're quite aggressive. Probably a bit too aggressive for this scenario. There we go. I've got a bit of a mould line or a gap down the middle between these two ribbed areas, but I can't get anything in there to... apart from that knife. Can't really get anything in there to clean that out, so that may just have to be a good as I can scenario. Again, a bit of glue to cover the sins. I've got almost nothing on the brush. I've literally just got it dampened with the glue, and it's just a good way to get rid of any rough scrapes and scratches from your sanding and clean up. Okay, right. Put that back in there for a minute. I totally didn't do that. Quick look at chat. No, that's drive shafts. My escape tunnel is still in use. Took 2 minutes building that, says Sarah Jane. I'm confused. I'm calling it the rubber sleeve thingy, says Quino Man. Good lad. So much for watching Fox Shenanigans, says Phil Lewis. My bad night last night has caught up with me. I need to have a lie down. Have fun. Take care, Phil. See you soon. Ugh. Scratchy nose. Wipe my nose. Hang on. I've not had too bad of sniffles today, even though there's a camera. Oh, sniffle, sniffle. Technically, my first language is to talk crap, so normal English is very weird to me, says Quano Man. Yeah, that's true. £22.29 for a 5-piece set. Wow. What? 5-piece set of... What are we talking about, Paul? Looking at the website now, Graham. I say they have permanent grit, Paul de Tomaso. What? We're talking about files and things, I guess. Mark 3Bs is in. It's a boot fox. Hello, all. Hey, Mark. Looks like it's the rubber shift boot. That's it. It's the boot. I knew there was a word that we'd called. I think it's a gator, says Captain Nemo. And John Thompson says it's a rubber shift boot. Yeah, boot or gator, I think is the right word, isn't it? Both of those. The skirt, says David Sanderson. Don't know. Might be. I recognise boot, actually. And gator. Nim is in. Welcome, Nim. How you doing, my friend? Right, so we need to do a little bit of... Basically, this bit of trim around the top of the air grabber. There's a bit of a... You can still see a little gap in the two halves. But I've started to soften the edge of it a little bit, and I don't want to do that. So what I can do is cobble together some little detail. Just to... Not to cover it up, but to take your eye off it. Now, I can't reproduce that exactly because it's not a strip that's straight and the same width all the way through. It kind of goes wider in the middle. So what I can do instead is just create a little detail that just takes your eye off it. I need to make sure it's something I can actually cobble together. Yes. What I'm going to take myself a little bit of plastic cards. Just something small. Just a little greeble. There's almost of no consequence. A small planet of little consequence. Okay, so we'll get that there. Take. I could measure this, but that's far too boring. More fun just to make shit up. Oh, there go both those. Oh, you little. Oh. There's nothing worse when you cut a bit of plastic card off and all the bits of plastic card fly off across the desk and you're like, oh, fudge. Okay, right, let's try that again. Your finger over the piece of plastic card, there's always a winner. Small piece. Right, so what we're going to do is just a little simple cobble together thing. I will also need and rivet from my very good friend Kenneth, my dear friend from Australia. So what we're going to do is we're simply going to fudge something. I'm going to cover up the little seam. Just a little bit of silliness. I'll zoom in a bit for you because you're quite far away there, aren't you? Let me zoom in a little bit. The quality might drop a little tiny bit. Also, I couldn't zoom in that far. Oh well, it was worth a try. So, there's a strip here. If it was just the same width all the way along, I'd just do a straight strip. But because it's not, what we can do is, let's get a little piece of plastic card there. Okay, works. Take some extra thins. And this is just a way of hiding the little seam. I don't really want to sand it anymore because, like I said, I'm smoothing off the edges. And that's not something I want to do. It doesn't really matter too much, but I'd rather keep it not smoothed off. Plonk it in the middle as best I can. I think that's about in the middle. Thin. It's important when you do plastic card, especially thin plastic card, don't drench the piece of plastic card in glue. You want to touch the glue brush to the edge of the plastic card and let it soak underneath. If you start coating it in plastic glue and drenching it, the plastic card can go soft and then it starts to conform to the surface and go all lumpy and bumpy, which is no use if you want to get a nice straight piece. So I'm going to take this one here. That can sit on top like that. Now I know you probably won't see any of this because it's a white piece of plastic card and it's also tiny. I'm basically making a tiny hood ornament for the top of the air grabber. Okay, so that's there. Although it's not going to completely cover up that little seam line, it does a good job of distracting you completely. That's what I needed to do. Like I said many times, I'm lazy, and if I can find a way to fudge something, I will. Take our little rivet, 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 and glue to it. There. Right in the middle. It's not quite straight. Yep. Okay, so that's glued. I need to sand it down a little bit. But now we've got a little widget on top of that air grabber that makes no sense at all. It's like a little hood ornament. It's like you get like the radiator cap on the thing on a radiator. It's not the radiator, but it's that kind of thing. It just looks like, once it's painted, it'll look like part of that air grabber's frame. A little tiny bit of detail. It covers up that little tiny seam line that I can't quite sand away. And it also distracts from the rounding off of the edge of that strip. It takes your eye off it. I'll put them there because it might come in handy. It just distracts your eye. And a lot of times when you do something like that, you can spend a lot of time getting quite finicky about making things look just right. But sometimes it's just about not tricking the eye, but just distracting the eye. Almost taking the eye's mind off something a little bit. Now, just one second. I just realised something I didn't do. 1 second, folks. Turn off Windows updates, cars. I forgot. There we go. We're checking. So yeah, so sometimes it's not about. I mean, if I was making a Formula 1 racing car, for example, or a nice shiny something sports car or something, I wouldn't obviously do this. But if you're doing something like, especially orc vehicles or military stuff or sci-fi things, anything where it's not a shiny sports car in a showroom that needs to look perfect. If it's anything that's got, like, you know, dirt and gunk and it's jury rigged and anything like that, you can get away with so much. So there we go. That is at engine block. I think that's the engine block done, mostly. We'll zoom back out again for you. I'll stay where we are. I'll stay zoomed in. You may as well. Shenanigans says mayhem. Don't know why. Do you know, looking at that engine just needs a nose cone and some wings, and you'd have the beginnings of a little spaceship. There's B3. Yeah. Got a kind of Destiny look to it, hasn't it? I could see that. Oh, dropping. So that looks pretty good. It's a bit ramshackle. It's not quite smooth, but then again, it's an orc vehicle, so it's going to look a bit ramshackle, isn't it? I do need to smooth off in there a little bit as best I can. I've got to be careful though, because I can't get much in there. That's going to be a bit sort of half-arsed. Can't really get much in there. I think. A lot of things that will probably hide away once it's painted. I mean, you might see a little tiny hint of the seam line there, but like I said, it's an orc vehicle. It's going to be covered in grime and dirt, and it's cobbled together out of found bits, so I think we'll live. Yay for stuck at home again, says Weebadoodles. Welcome, Weebadoodles. Nice to see you. People talking about remote control stuff. I can hear noises, but I don't know what it is. Might be fireworks outside, but it's a bit early. Is that engine with an H? Says Graham. Add bigger engine or bigger engine bits makes big engine. A big engine. I like my big engine. Hey, what? I got no notifications of this stream. Don't ever trust YouTube to tell you that shit is going on. It won't. It just don't even bother trying to hope it will. Right. What I think we'll do is I've got to get the front wishbone suspension. I've got to get the steering rack on, put the engine on the chassis, and apply a couple of floor plans. So let's get that done before we call it a day, and then we'll call it a day. I've just put my finger on top of that bit I just glued on. So I'll get away with that, I think. That's quite good. I know you guys can't see it very well because it'll be out of focus, but you've got a little ornament on the top there. Just distracts the eye from the little seam line and from the softened curved edge. Because sometimes when you're sanding stuff, you do round off an edge, and it's like, oh, for crap. Just fudge it. This is why I like making Warhammer and Orc stuff. You can just, if it goes wrong, it's either battle damage or an Orc. It's just a bit shonky. Right, so I want 56 and 52, first of all. 56 and 52. Now, these are tiny parts. I'm never going to find them. I've just found one. Yay! 52. Clink. And 56. These are the bits that the wheels go on. I'm having nightmares that we're going to glue these on, and then when it comes to put the wheels on, they're not going to be lined up exactly, and it'll be a little bit off whack, and it won't quite be all wheels on the ground. I hate that. Yes. The one thing that puts me off cars. Making sure all the wheels are on the ground, touching the ground. Mm. 56 and 52. I can hear fireworks, but it's only 5 o'clock. Also, I hope it's just people in their own garden doing their own fireworks, because technically it's illegal now if you don't do that. Yes. That's the wrong one. Now again, I'm not going to get too finicky about mould lines on these components, because these are underneath the, you know, the running gear, and I know what weathering I'm going to do underneath this car on the bottom of these vehicles. So again, because I'm not doing like a showroom car that's got no weathering on it, I'm doing a used vehicle, and a combat vehicle like that, let's keep that in mind. There's a lot of leeway to just not worry too much about stuff. I'm going to get rid of mould lines, but I'm not too fussed about making these parts beautiful, because for the most part they're going to have a layer of gunk, grime, and possibly even mud and dirt on them anyway. So all you'll see is a rough, lumpy shape. You'll go like that one. Right, so this needs to go like... I'll get rid of that seam line, because that seam line is a bit egregious. Oh, pig. So this needs to go like something. A bat out of hell? I don't know. Oh god, I hate meatloaf. I just quoted meatloaf. I don't know why. That goes there. This goes in like that. Oh joy, it's a piece that rotates freely, and therefore if you don't get it in exactly the right position... Oh no. Oh, okay, I get it. Right, so that. So, engine goes on here, like that, you'll see. Big honking engine, isn't it? And then that goes in. Oh, fudge tubes. Fudge tubes! Tubes of fudge. You little bugger. You little bugger. Nearly said something else then. That needs to go in there like that. Okay, I get it now. Okay, that makes sense. So we can glue the engine on first though. Let's just do a dry fit to make sure I can do this in the right order. Because sometimes in Games Workshop it's better to do things in a different order to the way they actually want you to do it. Sometimes it's just not. That goes in there like that, you see, but it doesn't stay in place, you tart. Oh, you blew it in. Let's just shenanigan it. I'll get the other side built first. We'll get the engine. I think what. I've not glued that in, as you can tell by the fact I've not actually glued it. That's the giveaway, folks. So I need to get that on there, but also make sure it's in the right way around, but I can rotate it any direction I want. Not instilling with a vast amount of confidence there. Let's just sort it out. Okay, that goes on there. So that will go here, right there, Trussie. That goes there. That goes in there. Okay, there we go. Yes. There's no wiggle room on there. Not going to be angled in the wrong direction. So I can glue this engine in place quite happily. Apologies if my head's in shot, by the way. I was kind of getting all close up and personal with it there. And I get carried away. Charm67 channel subscribed. Welcome, Charm67 channel. Please don't be a spam account covered in naked ladies or selling sunglasses. Hopefully. You get a lot of them. Okay. If you're not one of them, then welcome. Thank you for watching, subscribing. If you are one of them, then just, yeah. Somebody sent me a thing on Instagram yesterday. And it was like, I put a picture up of the custom booster blaster. And they're like, "Ooh, nice, collab," as if to say, "Hey, let's do a collaboration." So I clicked on it. It was like, "You sell sunglasses, dude? You're an idiot." So I put a reply saying, "Yes, because my channel will be a perfect place to advertise rubbish sunglasses to morons with all its model making content." I know they're just doing every account they can find, but it's like, really? You wasted a minute of your life offering a collaboration to someone who has nothing to do with what you're selling. Sigh. 53 and 55. 53 and 55. That was 55. Now we have to find 53. Yeah, it's 53. That's it. I don't actually know how to do big numbers in German. 53 or 35? I'd never actually quite know. When you get into your tens. 53 and 55. Oh, that's 41. Can't use that one. Knocking the microphone. I do apologise. Welcome to Warhammer stuff where you have to find parts by visualise what they look like rather than them. Louis, ping. Louis, ping. I have to go. I'm on dinner detail. Bye, says David Sanderson. Thanks for coming, David. Warfighter Gaming, sir. Hey, welcome, Warfighter. Finally getting back into modelling and painting. Just got my first ever Warhammer minis to paint and also got the McFarlane Space Marine to paint up. Be a change from Gundam. Yes, I've got that. I was gifted that. It was very kind. Everyone calls it a day. I prefer to be and call it a turnip. Yeah. B3 says, I never get notifications regardless of being subbed and clicking the bell. Oh, that was a good bit. Apologies. Yeah, no, the trick is, I don't know if you hear earlier on, the trick with knowing when somebody's streaming is to forget is to just get rid of the idea that YouTube will ever tell you. And at the start of the day, or at least at the start of the day when you can access YouTube, go to your YouTube thing and click on the subscriptions tab. And it will show there, if you've clicked the bell and subscribed to a channel, it will show you any live streams that are due for that channel for that day, assuming that the person has set the stream up that day. It may be that if they set it up 4 days before, it'll be on the list for 4 days before. Basically, in your subscriptions tab, if I set up a live stream for, like, if I was to schedule Sunday's live stream now, then on today's little section, it would say the live stream that's set up for Sunday, but it would say live in 3 days. So what you need to do is each day check your subscriptions tab and just keep a little mental note of who set up what. In the old days, you used to be able to set it up. Fireworks outside. You used to be able to set it up and say, yeah, please publicise it 12 hours before, but you can't do that anymore. So literally, you'll see it on your subs page the moment the person creates the stream, which could be days in advance. And that's probably why you don't get the notification, because they've changed it all. And also because YouTube are rubbish. So just, check your subscriptions feed every day if you can. And just keep a little note in your mind of who's streaming when. Because that way, you'll see any ad hoc. Like this one's ad hoc, I decided like 10 minutes before I started streaming. So whenever you go to YouTube, just have a quick look and see. Don't trust them to notify you. Notificazioni! Keine Notifikation. I'm just making up German now. I don't even know if that's real. I enjoy my life. I have fun with it. I insult everybody along the way, but you know what? It's just silly. And we've got more of these little white mould lines on here. The 2-part mould. Gaps. I really don't know how it's done that. This doesn't seem like high quality Games Workshop moulding at all. Maybe it was just a funky run or something, I don't know. I don't know. I don't know nothing, do I? That should go like the other way. Oh, dropping. Roger, dropping now. Open, drop, and clear on Zulu. Oh, phalanges. Yeah, little bugger. Right, little bugger. Get in the little hole without popping out the other little... There you go. There you go. Yeah, lovely little thing, aren't you? There, lovely. I always said he was lovely. Lovely little fella. There you go. That's right. Like I say, the big thing now is, of course, there's no guarantees these are lined up correctly. Might end up with one wheel at a funny angle. That's the downside of these. You never be quite sure. I never quite trust vehicle kits where you have separate assemblies. If the point where the wheel joins in is moulded in and can't be, then I'm happy. When it's wiggly bits, yeah, don't like wiggly bits. I could have one wheel cambered in. I could have one wheel cambered to the side. It could be. I could be building this in a stance style. I don't, without even realizing it. Yeah, it's like orcs dancing. Cool. Now you can see there probably, I don't know if you guys can see it. Maybe you can just about see there that white mould line down the middle. You're not going to see that because it's not actually sticking out. It's a white stress mark on the plastic. Not actually got any three-dimensionality to it. But again, this is going to be covered in mud and dirt down here, so... Right, so that's them axles on. I dread to think how inaccurate they are. They should be fine. I'm sure it'll be fine. If it comes to the worst, you can either, when it comes to... What's that down there? Some kind of schmutz down there. When it comes to putting it on its base, one thing you can do, if you've got one wheel that's slightly raised up, is just put a grass tuft underneath it or alongside it to hide it. You can put a little bit of your whatever terrain texture you put on the base. You can build that up. So it's not the end of the world. It's like if a normal model that doesn't have a base, it wobbles like that. If it's on a base and it's got one wheel up, just build up your texture underneath it. Or you can do a little diorama, and maybe if you want to get really creative with a bit of acrylic rod and a hole in the bottom, you could have it like it's just about to jump and it's like that. So you could, have it like it's just hit a lump and it's just doing a bit of an air, catching some air. Catch a ride! So you could do that. I had an idea to do one where it's like you build a small cliff and you have the vehicle. I don't know how I'd do it. I'd have to figure it out. I'd have the vehicle as if it's just about to drive off the edge of this cliff like it's driving over and going to do a little bit of a jump. So you'd have like the back wheels attached somehow, and then you'd simulate dust or the dirt and it's kicking up or stuff coming out from underneath it. In my brain, I know exactly what I'm thinking of, but I don't know how I'd do it. But yeah, because I want to suggest like it's coming off the edge of a thing here like that, like that. But you want to suggest little things flying off underneath, like all the bits of debris and stuff. I don't know how you do that. Rather have a bottom in front of me than a frontal lobotomy, says B3. Wise words. I hate chopping onions. I'm not crying, you're crying. Gotta go like David Sanderson. I'm also on dinner detail, says Swigging Pig. Yes, as am I actually. So I think what we're going to do, I need to go make my dinner. Sausages. If they've thawed. They might not have thawed yet. God damn it. So what I'll do, I shall leave it there. Quite pleased with that little bit of widget there. I'll just very quickly smooth it. It's not quite flat. There we go. Perfect. Now it's flat. It was a little bit like that. Just it wasn't a completely cylindrical rivet. It was a little bit angled on one side. So there you go. Nothing we're being picky about it. There you go. We built the chassis and engine block of the Boomdakka Snazzwagon. Is it the Boomdakka? Yeah, I don't know. It's this thing anyway. So we shall leave it there. Now, don't forget, of course, tonight is the Thursday, and that means it's Thursday night is Chris at 8 o'clock, half 8? 8 o'clock, 8 o'clock. Chris, I'll start that again. Oh. I'm actually down for a wee as well, which doesn't help with the thinking. It is Thursday night, which means Chris over at Gross Models is doing his Thursday night stream. I don't know if it's everyone can join, or if it's just a patrons only can join. But if you're in Chris's Facebook group, the Gross Group, do go and check it out. He'll put a link in there, he'll either put a link in there if it's open to everybody, or he'll put a link on his Patreon page, patreon.com/ I nearly said Model Making Guru then. Patreon.com/ Gross Models. If it's just for patrons, you can join his live stream. I'll be popping in. You'll see this again because I'll come and join him because I'll have the camera set up. So I shall see you again later on this evening. I think it's 8 o'clock. But yeah, check it out. It's the Gross Group on Facebook or patreon.com/ Gross Models. And maybe you can join in. If you do, he doesn't say this, but I'd say if you can do it from a wired connection, it's better than a wireless connection. You don't have to, but you just might find it better. Anyway, yeah, so make sure to come and join that. I'll see you later anyway there, because I'll pop in and hang out with him. Don't forget, of course, I will be back tomorrow. Is Friday, so it'll be Fallout Friday tomorrow. I'll be playing my Fallout 4 at 3 p.m, so I hope I will see you then. Now we're all stuck at home. You've got nothing else to do. Oh, it's good for views, this lockdown. I know, I'm only joking. Yes, I'll be back tomorrow at 3 p.m. As well anyway for Fallout Friday. I will try and get some time at the bench to finish off or to do some more filming on the Tabletop Trauma Centre Lehman Russ, which is underway. As you can see, it's eine Work in Progress and gefahrten, ja, with the painting and the building, ja, das ist. Apologise to all the Germans in the entire world. So it's coming on slowly. Yes, so I'll be back tomorrow. Don't forget, of course, if you'd like to help support this channel, I would love it if you would consider it. You can do several ways. You can become a patron at patreon.com/modelmakingguru, where you can help keep the lights on. You can help keep this channel going, and it means I can keep doing this for my living and keep making content. To all my supporters. If you don't want to do Patreon, you can do become a YouTube channel member by just clicking the join button that's underneath every single one of my videos or on my video channel homepage. Either way, whichever one you choose, you get access to most content a week early, advert free. If you hate watching adverts and stuff, become a member or a patron. You can watch them without the ads for the first week. But if you obviously don't want to do that, then if you do watch my stuff, maybe just sit through the advert for a minute. It's only 30 seconds and it does really help me out, so do consider that as well. Don't forget, of course, I do have an Amazon store. As an Amazon associate, I earn from qualifying purchases. So do use, wow, get my words out. Do check out my Amazon store links in the description below the video. Go and check out some stuff. If you need stuff adding, just let me know. I can add it to my store, no problem for you. But it might help you pick up some bits and bobs, modelling tools and equipment and paints and all kinds of things. All the modelling stuff is stuff I've recommended. I recommend because I've used it or I've experienced it directly in one way or another. So I know it's good stuff. So give it a go. But I shall see you later on this evening for Chris's stream. Until then, take care of yourselves. I'll just see if my buttons are still working.
Slap it on.
Yeah, Ted's still working. Take care of yourselves. Go make something awesome. Go be awesome. You there, be awesome. And I shall say, adios, amigos.